Your forecast first from KARK4.
Good evening, everyone. We are continuing to track those showers and storms across the natural state. Right now, the good news is they've mainly weakened, seeing some pockets of heavy rain and still flashes of lightning, but no severe storms to worry about at this hour. In fact, we really shouldn't see too much overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, but the rain chances are going to continue to rise. Temperatures, however, doing the opposite and falling from the middle 70s into the 60s by 7 a.m. In fact, temperatures are going to continue to trend downwards as we head towards your Friday afternoon. We'll let you know just how low those temperatures go in your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK4 News at 10.
It has been a very busy day as far as Little Rock School District and the State Board of Education goes. We're going to get to most of it as much as we can right now. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Bob Clausen.
And I'm Ashley Ketz. In the hours-long meeting today, other decisions were made regarding local control, the LREA, and the Fair Dismissal Act.
KARK4 Stephanie Sharp was in that meeting all afternoon. She breaks it all down for us.
This meeting is adjourned.
The Arkansas State Board of Education meeting ending abruptly. Things getting heated after several key votes were made regarding the Little Rock School District.
So please explain to the press and to the public why you are taking these actions.
The state board voted to no longer allow the Little Rock Education Association to have negotiating powers with the commissioner when it comes to contracts. The partnership with the union ends October 31st.
Motion carries.
The state board chair, Diane Zook, reacts to that decision.
There are some LREA members who will not be happy. There are some LREA members who have contacted us who are perfectly happy to have a PPC. Those teachers that are not a member of LREA, who have not had a seat at the table, they may be happy or they may not want a seat.
Another vote after being under state control for 5 years for academic distress. State board members voted to put the Little Rock School District on a pathway back to local control.
I'm sure that they will try to get on that as quickly as possible so that by the November board meeting, if not before, we can begin to put flesh on these bones.
At this point, there is no specific plan for what local control will look like for Little Rock School District. That will be decided in the future.
Stephanie Sharp reporting. The board also voted to reinstate the Teacher Fair Dismissal Act. Late last year, the board voted to waive that act. It's basically due process for a teacher that is fired. Again, that was reinstated for the Little Rock School District.
And frustration after the meeting from people who spent all day hoping the board would listen to what they want. Our Susan Elcory joins us now live outside the Board of Education building. And Susan, you were there this afternoon. What were you hearing?
Well, Ashley, a lot of mixed emotions coming out of the meeting here tonight. At first, parents and teachers were relieved when they heard the Little Rock School District would regain some local control, but that quickly turned to shock and just anger when they found out that the board voted to basically end the teachers union. I talked to some folks out here who feel like that was slipped in and without giving them any chance to speak out.
Absolutely horrible. Parents in disbelief as they leave the State Board of Education meeting.
They don't listen.
Feeling slighted.
I've had to take away hours of work time to come and fight for this, and they don't listen. They don't care.
Frustration overshadowing the day's win.
Motion carries unanimously.
Put Little Rock schools on a path to local control. That quickly faded to a much different sound. With another vote, in essence, ending the teachers union by taking away its bargaining power.
This is a travesty. I'm feeling devastated right now. It truly was the most demoralizing meeting I've ever been to.
It's the speed that caught many off guard, saying the teachers union vote was done in a matter of minutes without any public comment.
Dealing with them is like being in an abusive relationship.
The board never misses an opportunity to completely screw things up at the end of the day.
Others say the state stepped in where the district should have made its own decision.
And it is such taxation without representation. It's got to get remedied somehow.
Now fearful for what all this could mean for what's ultimately at stake. Their kids' education.
These children are vulnerable, and if they don't have these teachers, and if we can't support these teachers, they're going to suffer.
There are still a lot of questions about what's next for the Little Rock School District in terms of phasing out state control. The board called today an outline, and they said a lot of decisions still need to be made, so you can expect more meetings to try and iron those out. In Little Rock, Susan O'Corey, back to you.
Okay, Susan, Governor Asa Hutchinson has not said whether he supported the push to no longer recognize the union, but the proposal came from a board where he appointed 8 of the 9 members. After the meeting, Hutchinson praised the board for making tough decisions. He said, "I am confident the action to keep the LRSD unified will unite our efforts and balance the local support with state support," he said in a statement. "This is an opportunity to partner with the district in a way that will continue state support along with the efforts of a locally elected school board, the private sector, and partners in the city." And big news from Wednesday was the state's annual district report cards that were released. LRSD had 8 failing schools. If you want to see how your child's school or district fared, just head to our website, KARK.com.
A day after a Little Rock city director says officers detained him, he sat down with the chief of police. City Director for Ward 2, Ken Richardson, says it all happened Wednesday evening near Kroger grocery store on Colonel Glenn. Richardson says while getting gas, he noticed a young man and an officer in an alley of a nearby strip mall. Richardson says he was just watching the officers' interaction when the officer said that he couldn't interfere with the interrogation. After threatening to call the police chief, Richardson was detained for about 30 minutes. During today's meeting, Police Chief Keith Humphrey reviewed the dash cam audio from the patrol car. Then, according to Richardson, the chief apologized.
He apologized and said they're going to do an investigation through internal affairs and going to take the appropriate action, but he did apologize for the actions of his officers.
Richardson was cited for obstructing governmental operations. The Little Rock Police Department declined an interview, saying there is an open internal investigation. As for the robbery suspect who was stopped by police, he was arrested.
An update tonight to a Working for You investigation our team's been on top of for months now. The city of Winchester and its mayor now have been issued a letter from the Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality regarding the issues with the city's sewage. The letter, sent October 4th, states ADEQ investigated a complaint of septic tank sewage going into the Coon Bayou. The letter says they are violations of several acts, including the Federal Clean Water Act. The city now has been put on notice to stop all of the leaks into the bayou and sign an agreement with the neighboring city of Dumas to collect their sewage.
The Arkansas Department of Health has confirmed it is investigating at least one vaping-related illness in Pulaski County. Tonight we're hearing exclusively from a Little Rock woman who says her son got sick from vaping. Erin Griffin considers herself to be a mom who doesn't have her head in the clouds. So you can only imagine her surprise when she found out her 17-year-old son was using e-cigarettes. As a longtime smoker who just quit 5 years ago, Griffin says she was clueless about e-cigarettes and their potential dangers.
He was doing it in the house, downstairs in his room, playing video games. And I have no idea. You can't smell it. I mean, it completely dissipates in the air. And I had no idea what was going on under my own roof.
Griffin believes her son and his friends were getting the vapes from stores that were not checking their IDs. She urges parents to test their kids for nicotine.
And still ahead tonight, a moment at a school assembly that one Arkansas student won't forget.
And once you see the video, neither will you. That heartwarming story coming up. Plus,
the women would be here for a little while, and then the women would disappear. The kids would still be here, and then the kids would disappear.
a look inside a so-called House of Horrors, an Arizona man's alleged involvement in an adoption scheme, and now authorities in Arkansas taking a very close look at this.
Well, big changes are on the way after a day that felt more like summer than fall, with temperatures trending 10 degrees above average. 77 is where we should be hitting this time of year. Today we're up to 87, and still no rain here in Little Rock, but that will be changing with the cold front coming into the state. Showers and storms tonight through Friday. Crane Automotive Team impact number drops to 0 for a nice weekend ahead. We'll have more details in your full forecast coming up after the break.
You're watching KARK4 News at 10 with Ashley Katz, Bob Clausen, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Drew Wayman with your Pig Trail Nation report.